I'm Chris with the Legacy team. Now, if you're unfamiliar with a Legacy CNC system, you're in the right place. Here you're going to be able to learn about what a Legacy is able to do, not just for you, but for all of our CNC customers. That's specifically what we're going to be talking about here. We're going to be interviewing one of our customers. His name is Vince Corbin, and we'll be able to see some of the amazing projects that he has produced and producing on his Legacy CNC system for his side business. So let's go see how Vince is doing and what he is up to. Hi, Vince. How you doing? Hey, thank you for being here. This is great. We just wanted to dive into what you're doing with your Legacy CNC machine for your business. I believe it's Corbin Woodworks. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Awesome. And so we'll love to see some of the work that you're doing with the machine. First of all, Vince, how long have you been using the CNC for your business?
I bought it in the middle of 2020.
Okay.
So that's almost 5 years ago.
It is.
And yes, it's been very effective since then.
And how long have you had the business? When did you start that business?
In 2013, yeah,
Oh my.
we started the business, yes.
That's over 10 years ago. That's a good time. And based on some of the photos you've already sent me, it's some phenomenal results. Do you mind if we talk about some of the projects and things that you're doing with the machine for your business?
Yeah.
So I notice here that you have a Maverick 3x5. So on the flat stock table, it has technically a 3 foot by 5 foot work area if you cover up the turning center. But most people use it for like a 2 foot by 4 foot work area for most flat stock capabilities. But you are producing some phenomenal cabinetry projects on this.
Yes, I've got it set up for a 3 foot by 5 foot where I can remove the 1 foot over the turning center.
Okay. And so how are you approaching that? Because normally when people do sheet processing for cabinetry, they put a big 4x8 sheet on their machine, and then they do all the, the joinery, the hole patterns, and then they cut out the actual nesting of the size of the parts on the machine. For your machine being a smaller platform, how are you approaching that when you don't have a big 4x8 table?
I'm doing that a little differently.
Uh-huh.
I have a supplier that will do a cut and band operation on my parts. So they'll do the outside cutting and edge banding. Then I'll put it on my 3x5 and I'll do the datas and rabbets and shelf pinholes
Uh-huh.
and wrap it all up. And then it's ready to put together.
Well, that's pretty sweet. I mean, what it looks like here is you're able to still get the same results, but again, you're just having that extra step involved. So this outsourcing, are you providing them with a cut list details that you get from what type of software are you using to generate all the details for the cabinetry?
I'm using Cabinet Sense.
Oh, okay. So with SketchUp and that's how you're creating
SketchUp and Cabinet Sense.
Gotcha.
And that generates the cut list. And then they cut it. They have a machine that'll cut it within a couple thousandth of an inch. And
Perfect.
things just work beautifully.
And it sounds like you've been doing that for some time. And based on the scale of the projects, you're not having any limitations because cabinetry, it never goes beyond a certain depth in the cabinet boxes for most cabinets, which is plenty for a 3 foot wide machine. You can handle really any width that you need for your cabinet boxes.
The depth is rarely over 24 inches.
Yeah.
Heights can be up to 8 feet, but I can push that forward.
That's clever. That's really clever. So you're able to have a really small footprint machine that doesn't require a bigger platform, and you're still getting the same results as a 4x8 CNC machine. I can see you're also doing the precision joinery for like the drawer boxes.
Yes.
And so
I use the vertical vise and I cut through dovetails for drawer boxes.
Uh-huh.
And a little plug. I happen to write some software for doing that on
really
Carve. And I actually gave a presentation in Tracy's webinar on that.
What was it? Vectric or Spire? Is it a gadget? Is that what it is?
Yes, it's a gadget. Yes.
Gotcha. So they have a gadget option to where you can work with your joinery. It's specific for, was it dovetails? I see a lot of dovetail joinery in the drawer boxes. Is that what it was for?
Yes, dovetails of several different kinds. Mostly I use through dovetails. Yes.
That's my personal favorite as well. So hey, this is beautiful stuff. But it looks like here you're also doing some furniture components.
I do quite a bit of furniture, and sometimes the CNC will do a large part of it. Sometimes it does very little or none. But
Uh-huh.
whatever is works out to be convenient and helpful, I use the CNC for that. Many of the tables, yes, I'll have a veneer core and then a hardwood trim, a solid wood trim around the outside edge,
Hmm.
many times curved, and the CNC allows me to match those curves really nicely.
You mentioned that you're also creating some form of, I guess, or templates or something with the CNC to help with those. I'm not sure if it was with the tabletops or if it was the inlay or the veneer. What was that specifically? You create some templates for those.
Well, I've done it for both, but typically if you have an elliptical table,
Uh-huh.
you'll have a core that's an ellipse, and then you'll have the very outer edge that's an ellipse.
Hmm.
And I make those templates for cutting those particular cuts on the CNC.
I got you. And are those templates like for trim routers or router tables so that you can
Yes,
use flush
yes,
trim
I
bearings up
use
against those
on the
templates? I
router.
got you. So
Yeah.
you're just making your templates on the CNC to be applied with traditional power tools or other third party tools as well. That's
For
been
some cases, yes,
Yeah, for
yes.
certain situations. That makes
Mhm.
sense. Those turned out gorgeous. I love that. The book matching on that is beautiful. What type of veneer is that? What is that specifically?
Maple burl.
A maple burl. Yeah, it's
Yes.
gorgeous.
And I made the veneer myself by cutting it on a bandsaw
Oh, okay.
and sanding it with a drum sander down to the required thickness, about a 1/16th of an inch.
Uh-huh.
Gives a nice solid, thick veneer that is not fragile, easy
No.
to work with. So I love that.
Well, that's fantastic. So you've been able to use every aspect of the CNC, like you said, in order to approach any part of woodworking that you were currently doing or things that you weren't doing at that time as well. That's pretty amazing.
Yes. And sometimes I'll just cut parts for other people, and I may use the flatbed or I may use the vertical vise, may cut drawer boxes for people.
Hmm.
So yeah, some variation there.
Well, what are some other projects? What's some of your favorite things that you've been able to do with the machine that you couldn't do beforehand when you didn't have the system?
Well, obviously the dovetails, those are better to do by hand, but many times I do joinery, like
Uh-huh.
I have this unit that's all made with loose tenons, and all the mortises were made on the CNC. So
Okay.
that was something that would have been very difficult to do otherwise. Anytime you have shelf pin holes, it's a
Mhm.
pain without the CNC, but it's just as easy as pie with the CNC.
Yeah.
Find the cabinet sense is really quite useful even for furniture. Well, a video cabinet.
Uh-huh.
And I designed it all in Cabinet Sense
Okay.
and built it in a similar way that we've been talking about.
Gotcha.
And did the drawers that way with the dovetails and
Hmm.
everything. It worked out quite well.
Did you only do cabinetry before the CNC machine? Is that what you specialized in and only offered in your business? Or did you do all the above, furniture, cabinetry, anything that you could take?
I did anything, yes, anything.
Gotcha. What are some of the biggest differences that you noticed when you were trying to do projects with the CNC versus not with the CNC? What
Accuracy,
accuracy? That was a
accuracy,
big one that you're getting.
and very, very much better accuracy.
Mhm.
Um, works much better with anything curved. I
Mhm.
can get the curves that I want without having to play games with various kinds of templates.
Mhm. When you were looking at adding CNC automation into your business, because it looks like you had some time, there was like 5 to almost 7 years there before you had CNC automation. What made you go with a legacy CNC versus all the other options that are out there?
Well, the legacy guys came out and did a little seminar with the Guild of Oregon Woodworkers and
Okay.
demonstrated the early Maverick machine.
Hmm.
And I was just really impressed with that because not only that it would do XYZ, but that it had the turning center and the vertical vice workstation.
Gotcha.
That really got my attention because with a background in career of mathematics and physics, I
Mhm.
didn't want to be limited by a three-axis system. I wanted a much more flexible system, and the idea that you could do turnings as well.
Uh-huh.
And some friends of mine in the Guild of Oregon Woodworkers had uh, legacy machines, so it kind of directed me in that direction.
Well, Vince, this is very impressive. This is one of my favorite things to do with customers is actually seeing the work that they do. And you have definitely taken your machine and thought outside the box, literally.
Mhm.
I mean, you've built
Yeah.
tons of boxes and cabinets, but you have
Okay.
but you have taken it to the next level. And so I love seeing your creativity and what you've done with your CNC platform. If anyone is interested in seeing what Vince can do for you, then I recommend you visit his website. Again, it's corbinwoodworks.com. And there you can see a lot of his work. He has galleries and shows you what he does. But he has his contact information there on his website to where you can reach out to him. And he does, again, like you see here, some phenomenal work and even again, and is able to think outside the box and find solutions for his customers. So again, Vince, thank you again for taking some time with me. It's definitely
Okay. Well,
working.
thank you very much for speaking with me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, you're very welcome. Yeah, you have yourself a good one. Take care, Vince.
Okay.
Thank you again, Vince, for taking the time to talk with me about your side business. Again, amazing to see what you are producing with your Legacy CNC. Now, if you are interested in learning more about a Legacy CNC system, there's a couple of ways you can go about it. One way is obviously sticking around here on our Legacy channel and check out the videos. But one of the best ways is actually going to our website at legacywoodworking.com. There you can check out all the different product sizes and options that really unlock pretty much every woodworking discipline and application with one single machine. So go to legacywoodworking.com. Now, if you have any questions and would like to talk to one of our CNC experts, you are always welcome to call 801-491-0010. You can also leave any comments or questions right down below. Now, again, if you're just here to watch some videos, I don't blame you, but let's point you in the right direction. Just click right over there to see more cutting in action, some sawdust flying on the CNC machines. As always, thanks for watching, and if you want to be notified when new videos come out, don't hesitate to give us a like, subscribe, and check that notification box. Remember, Legacy solves more woodworking problems than any other CNC manufacturer in the industry.